Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Sarasota Garden Club. Welcome to our service this morning. This is the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast, where we invite an exploration and a connection and a learning and a growing and a deepening to the divine consciousness within. And we also support exploring a personal relationship with the God of your understanding. So we're very happy to have you with us this morning. If you're here for the first time, the 5th time, or the 50th time, whatever that might be, we're very glad that you chose to spend time with us. And also welcome to you online with YouTube or Facebook, whether right now or in the future on reruns. We're here for you online 24/7. How about that? So again, welcome. I wanted to share a little bit about what's going to be happening today. We have a wonderful service in store for you. Reverend Theresa, our spiritual director, is with us this morning. And we have been exploring all this month boldly living. And what holy boldness actually is what we're calling it. And this is the national theme for Centers for Spiritual Living International. So we are united with other centers exploring that theme. So today, Reverend Theresa is going to be talking about the topic, I See the Thread. So that sounds like discovery and newness, doesn't it? And so what is that thread? What is that thread that unites us in this holy adventure called life? Well, stay tuned, because more on that to come. And we're excited to have Reverend Theresa help us suss that out and explore that topic. This morning we also have musical inspiration as always. This morning's band is our house band, Joyful Noise. Bobby, Diana, Phil, and Frankie. This is our summer edition because some of our wonderful musicians are taking the summer, taking a break from the summer heat, and they're elsewhere. So, but we know that these are really, really talented people, and we look forward to hearing from them in just a minute or two. So with all of that said, a little housekeeping aside, let's now just take this opportunity to become a little more centered, a little more connected, letting go of anything any business before we arrived or anything that might be happening afterwards. And if it's comfortable, soften your focus, close your eyes, and allow yourself to relax into the center of yourself. To be aware of the divine presence that is no absence. And know with me, there is one life. That life is God, by whatever name, universe, the divine, nature, by whatever name. And that life is my life now, and it is the life of everyone hearing these words. It is the life of all creation. Because that's what it is. It is God, the divine, seeking to express itself as each one of us. It is this thing called life and love. We are life and love. It is health and joy. We are health and joy. It is beauty and vitality. We are beauty and vitality. And so much more. We are so much more. We are just as infinite as the divine presence is infinite. I know that each one being created in its image and likeness holds the keys to the kingdom of fulfillment, peace, and abundance. Therefore, I boldly claim and accept this good right now, flowing freely in, through, and as me, in, through, and as each one hearing these words. Right here, right now. And I joyfully express gratitude for this gift of life and all that it makes available. I know that there is no problem, no challenge, no issue too big for this God. And so I release whatever that is into the eternal divine presence and accept a resolution, a transformation, a new insight, a wisdom, a learning that comes from this time together in community. And so I declare that this time is already blessed and a blessing to each one of us, to me and to all hearing these words. I give thanks for this message, this music, and this time in community, and know it is good and very good. For all this and so much more, I am so grateful. And so it is. And now we hear from Joyful Noise.
Living in the house of the soul's belonging, coming back to the holy ground you've always known, the kingdom of love. There is no competition, no contradiction, take possession, claim your passion, working on a building that cannot be bought or sold, living in the house of the soul's belonging. Living in the house of the soul belonging, coming back to the holy ground you've always known. Step into the feeling of sweet surrender. Let yourself remember who you are. You can take your own sweet time, ease your troubled mind in the secret sanctuary of the heart, living in the living in the house of the soul belonging, coming back to the holy ground you've always known. There is room for all the kindness you can hold, and you know you can take it with you in the house of the soul belonging, coming back to the holy ground you've always known, coming back to the holy ground you've always known, coming back to the holy ground you've always known.
I think we're ready for our reading from Hector.
I'm here. I'm just enjoying listening to you guys so much. Living in the house of a soul's belonging? Wow. Isn't that amazing? Wow. So, good morning. Good morning. Namaste. Namaste. So, keeping in mind with this month's theme, holy boldness, I automatically want to say holy boldness Batman. It's been outside, I said it, it's been up here. Say it, brother. Okay, so this reading is called Live a Bold Life. The person who has attained mastery of an art reveals in it their every action. That was by Samurai Maxim. Each of us as a unique individualization of the infinite is complete. No two people look alike, act alike, or think alike. No two faces have the same expression. Our fingerprints are different. The emotional reactions of each are distinct and individual. All this in order that individuality may not last in the great shuffle of life. God would not be a creative God of its creations were monotonous repetitions. To have a bold life, we must have balance. I got to do this. Living out of balance in many respects, is similar to living out of integrity, out of alignment, and our spiritual magnificence and the truth of our being. We must give from the overflow and no longer give or live from the fumes of our energy reserves. Yeah, right? All right. Can I get an amen? Amen. All right. Always wanted to do that. Yes. Okay. Find my place now. Yes, we say, do this. But if we are honest, we know that there are many within the scope of New Thought who talk the talk about love, and yet their love is transactional. Even their love is self is transactional and conditional. A bold life demands that we be the embodiment of dedication. Are we dedicated to a world that works for all? If so, then there should be evidence of this dedication. When someone is dedicated to their craft as a visual artist, musical artist, poet, chef, educator, or parent, the manner in which they live, move, and have their being is a testament to their dedication and conviction. When someone says that a person is the epitome of some quality, what does that mean? Are we ready to be the epitome of what it means to be bold? Yes. All right. Ready to embody with certitude what it means to be a living embodiment of science of mind? Yes. Yes. Do we live the embodiment in a holistic and, dare we say, trauma-informed manner? A manner that is applicable, relevant, and beneficial to all, and not just for the privileged few. Thank you.
Namaste. Away beyond the blue, away beyond the blue, one star belongs to you, one star belongs to you, and every breath I take, and every breath I take, I'm closer to that place. I'm closer to that place. Yeah, baby, I'm gonna meet you there on the outskirts of the sky. Yeah, baby, I'm gonna meet you there. We will fly away beyond the blue, away beyond the blue. One star belongs to you. This life is but a dream. This life is but a dream. Yeah, go gently down the stream. Go gently down the stream. with us, okay?
I think we should go back and look at all the talks I've given in the last whatever many years and see how many I started with, wow. Right? Wow. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. I'll go ahead and skip to the end of the service and tell you that next week we had a cancellation with our musician, and it just happened, and yesterday Diana said, well, let me help. And so I called Phil, and he said, of course, let me help. And so you will have Joyful Noise again next week, too. So, yeah, I know, they're so good, so good. So besides the music, I want to ask you, why are you here? You don't have to yell it out. But I want you to think about it and feel it at home. Why do you tune in? Why do you come here? I could ask myself the same question. Why am I here? Why am I here? And why did I have the desire to do this? Why did I have the desire to become a minister? Why, in New Thought, specifically in religious science for the Centers for Spiritual Living? Why? Why? And why do this every Sunday? And then I ask myself, and why do I feel that I have missed you so much? I really feel that. Like, I really feel that right now. And I really felt that a couple days ago, and I said to Bobby, I feel like I can't, you know, this has been a lot of in and out of town, and I would not have scheduled it this way. I had nothing to do with when the convention was planned. I had nothing to do with when the immersion was planned. I have nothing to do with when my son and daughter were going to go to Napa Valley and need a babysitter, right? And that's what's happened so far this year. But tomorrow I leave on vacation. That is planned. And I'm actually taking, and this is, Bobby and I go every year. We go up to North Carolina to Cashers. That's where my mom has a summer home. And we're there every year for 4th of July. And this year we're taking an extra 5 days. So we're going 5 days early. And, but again, it's been a lot of in and out, and that's a little disorienting. And so when I come back in, and if I'm only here for a week or 2 weeks, then I rely on the themes to tell me what's the topic, what am I going to say? Because we have these themes that are global, you know. And so I've got the outlines, and so I've relied on them. And it dawned on me this week, it wasn't just that I've been out of town. But it feels like, even though last week I talked about my grandkids and stuff. I mean, I always have to have me in there, and it has to be relevant. But I feel like my voice or things I want to share with you, conversations I want to have, maybe with some of you individually, with all of you collectively. I don't know. I feel like I'm not having them. It was it was just kind of, I still can't obviously articulate it very well. But I asked Bobby, I said, oh my gosh, I have this and this and this and this, and I want to talk about it, and I don't see how to connect them in a talk to make it a coherent talk. Like, I don't see the thread. And he goes, I do. And that's all it took for me to go, oh, well, I do too. Of course I do. Of course I see the thread. So thus the talk title, I see the thread. That's the talk title, I see the thread. And the first thread is my core value and my need for connection. It's been a core value of mine for as long as I can remember, and when I started doing this kind of work, and you know, do these little workshops and seminars, and you figure out of this list of words, what are yours? What are your top 5, And when we were at the immersion, I had the opportunity to revisit that. And connection has always been one of my top 5s. And it's number 2 right now. I don't know if it moves around, but it's number 2 right now. And so I guess I've missed that. I've missed feeling that. And then here I am saying it, and I don't know, where are all the people this morning? I guess they're on vacation. I mean, I not to diminish who's here, but we have a lot of empty seats. And I notice they're all in front of me. So if I have bad breath or something and you need to tell me, please tell me. Because there's all these empty seats. You can't see it at home, but they're right in front of me. But I'm not going to pull that thread just yet. I'm going to circle back to complete that thought. The second thread that's very obvious and prevalent for me on the answers to these whys, is this teaching, is this science mind teaching, is this way of life, it's this philosophy of oneness. And I'm so in love with it. I'm just so, reading, Hector, so spot on. I mean, yeah, to the best of my ability, I live it. I want to live it. I'm aware of it every single day, not always in every single moment, but it's my intention to be. And so the Science of Mind magazine this month, do you all, I mean, we're out of them now, so, well, you could go to Barnes & Noble if you never picked one up. I'm sure they might have a couple left. But the Holy Boldness, the writings this month, the daily reads by Reverend Raymond Anderson, are really, really, really good. They are bold. They are, as Raymond always is bold, they are bold. And particularly this one that he wrote on the 16th, on the on the 16th. Where is it? Yeah, on the 16th. Boy, this one's really, really, really good. He talks about in here what is religious science. Or we call it science of mind. Those words are interchangeable. And what we do, and you've heard me talk about this before, what we do, if we're going to give a little elevator speech to somebody about what our belief system is or where we go on Sunday mornings, and we want to talk about this, we often have a long diatribe about what we're not. You hear me? Because we're not Christian Science, and we're not Scientology. And that's probably one of the first 2 things that comes out of your mouth. You're not alone, I've heard this story. And he's got some really funny considerations in here. Like if you go to the restaurant and you want to know what the special of the day is, you don't want to hear, well, it's not meatloaf, it's not fried chicken, it's not tofu loaf. You don't want to hear all that, right? You want to know what it is. You go to the doctor and you want the results of your blood work. You don't want to hear, well, you don't have cancer, you don't have. What do I have? What is it? We want to know what it is. I want to know why you're here. You want to know why you're here. I want to know why I'm here. I want to know what it is, right? What is it? What is it? So on this same page here, he's saying, let's agree to revisit the following materials. The first 4 chapters of the Science of Mind textbook, right there. The Declaration of Principles, the 10 core principles, 10 core concepts I've always called it, and the Global Vision for CSL. Global Vision. I've got all that. Well, I don't have all of it, but I didn't bring the core concepts. But his question is really profound to me. Those whys. And then what Hector brought up, are we living that? So I've suggested this before, that when we begin to talk about what this teaching is to us, if there's 40, 50 people in the room, I think we're going to get 40, 50 different answers. And if you've asked me that question over my 30 whatever years it is that I've been in this teaching, I'm going to give you a different answer. So for myself, if you had asked me when I was 31 years old, what is this teaching about? I would say it is about changing your thinking from victimhood, from all the stuff in the world happening to you, to empowering you to understand that you can make a difference in your own life. And how do you make a difference in your own life? Well, you choose. You make new choices, right? And so when you start making choices in your life, you're like, well, who am I? What do I want? What do I really need? And you start looking at that, you know? And so that could be an answer. It's a way to know who you are. It's a way to know yourself as a divine incarnation of the One. So if you had asked me like another 10 years later, that might have been my answer, you know? And then it kind of morphed into authenticity, you know? Like to be that really strong individual in knowing who and what I am and what is my values and my needs in life and how I show up, and it doesn't need to look like anybody else because I know I'm the thumbprint, right? I know I'm the heart and mind. So then there's that kind of stage, if you will. And oh, I skipped one. From authentic to knowing who you are, knowing what you want, then you start manifesting it. Holy cow, I was on a real tear there for a while, you know? I want this and I want that, I want a new husband, I got it, you know? I had it going on, right? I knew what I wanted and I went after it and I got it. And then I started visioning. And I'm like, but what does Spirit want? I started getting this sense that there's even more, and that more is not, I don't know what the more is. I don't know what it is. So then I would have answered you in a different way. What is this teaching about? Oh, being the conduit for Spirit. Being the avenue, the portal through which the divine flows. And I'm comfortable in uncertainty today, where I sure would not have been comfortable in uncertainty 20 years ago, right? So if you had asked me 20 years ago, I wouldn't have said being comfortable with uncertainty, you know, in the unknown, because I trust the unknown now. Like, I know this is a spiritual universe, and I know I'm firmly planted in it. So it's different. At my graduation in 2017, and if any of you have heard me sing, you're going to just be aghast. I sang in a microphone, Use Me, that song by Ricky Byers-Beckwith. Use me. And I meant it. And it was shortly after that I began working with many of you in this room to create this community, right? To create community. And during the last 5 years, we've been working from that vision that we collectively created. And you heard me say this maybe 2 months ago when we began our visioning time, maybe early March, that vision was really unfolding in a way that we see today, and then who are we today? What do we want today? What does Spirit want today? What is next? So I've put over here, hanging on the wall, 1, 2 on the table, 3, 4. Our core values are over there, and that global vision is all on that. And I encourage you to go look at it. Because the third thread in those whys has been the community visioning. You know, I've been visioning for a long time. But the community visioning, opening ourselves up, not only to say in public, out loud in front of our friends, well, this is what I'd like to see, but then to also take a meditative moment and open ourselves up to Spirit. What does Spirit see as this vehicle? What is this vehicle to be doing now? Yeah, so there's a lot of insight there. The fourth thread is that convention. In February, when we came back from convention, we were on fire. Those of us that went, were we not? We were on fire. The organization took a very bold steps to claim inclusivity in a way that it never had before. And you hear, if you're reading these daily reads by Raymond, you hear that we'll let Diana and Hector figure it out. I had just said, we came back and we were on fire. Okay, that's thread number 58. That there is a divine link all the time. Should we see it? There is a divine communication all the time. Holy cow. Well, yeah, so I'm glad that's off. I don't know quite where I was, but I literally was talking about that the organization, we came back on fire, and the organization took these bold steps to show us inclusion. And so you get some of this in his reading, you know, that it's been a long time coming. You know, it's been a long time coming, and people have felt that. Well, this is a theme that's been important in my whole life. So I see the thread. I see the thread. This oneness that we talk about each and every Sunday, it translates, like Hector read, into how do we live. That's what we're really wanting to translate it. And not just how do we live so we get stuff for ourselves, so our own lives enhance and grow, because that does happen. As I just demonstrated for myself, that happens. And yet, you keep going, and when you keep going, you find something else. You find out, oh, I'm connected to everything. Oh, when I say the word fire, the fire alarm's going to go on because, woo, that's just how powerful I am. And so, we want to know that we have that effect on the entire world. And we so boldly claim... Here comes the fire truck to those of you at home. And we're not on fire, but here comes the fire truck. So anyway, maybe I should talk a little fast so I can get through this. You know, another little example of saying fire and this happening. So weird. I see them. Another thing that just happened was Friday, and I don't know if Kathleen was going to talk to it in a minute when she's back up here, but Friday we hosted panels for practitioner candidates. So for 2 other CSL communities in the area, Cape Coral and Manatee, and some of those folks came down from the villages in the Ocala area, and the reading that day, the reading on Friday, you are religious science, I am not. Wow. The affirmation, today I fully embody and live as a physical representation of the teaching. He goes on, wait a minute, I'm interrupting myself. He goes on to say, you are religious science. This is Ernest Holmes, the founder of the teaching. I am not. I am only the one who puts something together. I do not even take myself seriously, but I take what I am doing seriously. You are religious science. Our ministers, our teachers, our practitioner, our laity, really everyone who's practicing these principles are religious science, right? And so now we're learning to take that, because he told us we could, and apply it to every aspect of our life, every aspect of our life. And that's another way that we see. So, I guess I got a little rattled by the alarm going off. So I read that Friday morning, and I'm preparing to walk out the door to go host these panels. And I'm like, is that not incredible? Like, when they edited and created this magazine, they didn't know that was my schedule. I didn't know then. I mean, we didn't know we'd be doing that. But when you're looking for those threads, you see them. That's another thread. That day, that was so important, and I read that, and that quote, and that affirmation to all of us as we were beginning our time together that morning. Very powerful, that experience. Really powerful. So, another thread is this global vision that I mentioned earlier. Once upon a time, this global vision got me in hot water. But I love it. I love this global vision. I feel like it is something that, again, I attempt to live. And you've seen it before. It has been up on our information table since the very first Sunday we met. When we met over the very first Sunday, January 2019, in the Bayfront room, it was literally sitting on a stand right next to me. It has been here every Sunday. So there's copies if you want to grab one this morning. But I want to skim through this with you. We envision all people, all beings, all life as expressions of God. We see a world in which each and every person lives in alignment with his or her highest principle, emphasizing unity with God and connection with each other. A world in which individually and collectively we are called to a higher state of consciousness and action. Are you hearing your why yet? Why you're here. Why I'm here. I keep reading. We envision humanity awakening to its spiritual magnificence and discovering the creative power of thought. A world where each and every person discovers his or her own personal power and ability to create an individual life that works within a world that works for everyone. Haha, yeah, that's a biggie. We envision a world in which we live and grow as one global family that respects and honors the interconnectedness of all life. A world where this kinship with all life prospers and connects through the guidance of spiritual wisdom and experience. We envision a world where personal responsibility, I was talking about that last week, was I not? And remember the iceberg, and that 90% of the iceberg is under the surface. And we know in psychology that 95% of how we operate is under the surface. We envision a world where personal responsibility joins with social conscience in every area of political, corporate, academic, and social sectors, providing sustainable structures to further the emerging global consciousness. We envision a world where each and every person has enough food, a home, a sense of belonging. Loved that song this morning. A world of peace and harmony, enfranchisement, and justice. That connects to the 10 days I spent at the River Phoenix Center for Peace Building and learning to create and facilitate restorative justice circles and solution-focused conflict coaching. Yeah. We envision a world in which resources are valued, cared for, and grown, where there's generous and continuous sharing of those resources. We envision a worldwide culture in which forgiveness, whether for errors, injustices, or debts, is the norm. Again, restorative justice. That's the intention of it. We envision a world which has renewed its emphasis on beauty, nature, and love through the resurgence of creativity, art, and aesthetics. Florida nonprofits have just lost a lot of money for the arts. That doesn't feel okay to me, because this is a guiding document that I so love, that I so believe in. And finally, we envision a world that works for everyone and for all creation. For everyone and all creation. So how do we live that? How do we do that? How do we do it individually? How do we do it collectively? I'm just so darned excited because I have the answer for that, and that's another thread. It goes back to our visioning. Spirit's telling us. Spirit's guiding us. That vision that is forming right now is very different than the vision that was forming 7 years ago. It's very exciting. If you look at that, what you're going to see is a bunch of little pieces of paper. And what I did is I wrote down all the words, and then I put them on the floor. It was like a puzzle. And I looked at, well, this connects with this and connects with this, and this connects with this. And we came up with these 4 strategies, and it's a work in progress. And I would love to talk to anyone this morning who has an interest in how that's coming together and maybe wants to work on it with me. I'm very excited about that thread. These threads, the philosophy of Science Mind, my ministry, the global vision, why you come back every Sunday. What's your why? Those are the threads. Spirit, that's the thread. The growing commitment I see in this community, the ownership I see in this community, our band, the greeters, the people that come and help set up these chairs, help clean up the room, the coffee, every bit of it. Our tech team over here, the cameras, the sound, the being able to transmit it across the ethers. Dan holding down the fort for me. All of it and more. Those are the threads. And this thread is weaving a gorgeous tapestry. Just a gorgeous tapestry. And we are not finished with that garment. We are not finished with that garment. So, in conclusion, I want to say you are religious science. You are the Center for Spiritual Living. You are a Center for Spiritual Living. You are the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. But we are so much more than that. So much more. And we keep discovering more and more and more of who and what we are. And I so love that. I think where I'd like to conclude this is in a definition of God. Ernest Holmes wrote in Ideas of Power, all the Bibles of the world teach that everything in creation is a result of the divine spirit, God, Jehovah, Brahma, the absolute, the reality. Doesn't matter what you call it. Operating upon itself and out of this self, making that which still is itself. That's the thread. Hear me, that is the thread, right? He says when we use the word God, we mean the cause, the invisible intelligence, the divinity, that omnipresent knowingness, spirit, life, truth, reality. That is what we mean by God. And when we say that God is everywhere, we mean that God is in us, in each other, in this flower, in the inner spaces of the universe. There is nothing but God. Anything that denies this divine presence is an illusion, is a false conclusion. God is all there is. I am that. I am beside which there is none other. There is God, spirit, life, and nothing else out of which life is made. Therefore, everything is God, and God in manifestation. You are the beloved, and thank you for being here with me. Namaste.
Wow. I can start off with, wow, there's no fire.
If you noticed, they came in, they checked it out, and left.
Oh, there's fire here, all right.
I mean, there is, but we're not in danger.
No danger. Here's a song I wrote a bit ago. Frankie put some music to, and we all got together, and it just seemed to fit for today, so let's have fun.
Good, we can't hear you.
All right. Good. Turn your head from the sky, see your hearts again. All we need is within transformation begin. Change your stance for a higher glance. You're super as a star. And that pain you hold wasn't meant to mold you. It's not who you are. In darkness, be light. Hold a vision in your sight. Judgments turn to grace. Peace did war in place. Learn to love my own new skin. Celebrate you and yours. Stop living in your shadow. Start shining from your soul. can't live, and no time I can't forgive. I have all the space I need, learning to trust and be. This is how we raise the vibe, heal the wound of all the tribe. The one that you've been looking for is sitting by your side. In darkness, be light, keep the vision in your sight. Judgments turn to grace, peace did war replace. Learn to love my own new skin and celebrate you and yours. Stop living in our shadow, start shining from our soul. Stop living in our shadow, let's shine from our soul.
Well, interesting morning, a little bit of fire, a little bit of heat, but a whole lot of love and a whole lot of inspiration. Thank you, Reverend Theresa. Thank you, Joyful Noise. And thank you, Hector, for all of that and so much more. We have been truly blessed and graced, have we not? Yes. This is an opportunity to give back to this place that creates that space for that to happen. And we're so grateful for the contributions that you do make to make sure that we are here Sunday after Sunday, through the week, through all the activities that we have going on here. It truly makes a difference. Whatever you place in that basket, whatever you provide through your online giving, it makes a difference. It empowers us. It supports us. So with that in mind, I just invite you to take your gift, whether that be physical or virtual, but I just invite you to take it into your heart space, into that place where gratitude and aliveness dwells, in that place that's active with spirit, and know that it is blessed as you give it, and that the divine flow returns it to you multiplied abundantly. And I just invite you to bless it and know with me and repeat after me. I give thanks that I may share of my good, my love, and my support. And Bobby and the band are going to take us through our offering affirmation song.
Thank you, Kathleen. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on.
Thank you all so much. So again, if you are a first-time visitor, we are so happy that you joined us today. A little extra excitement just to keep it interesting. But please, if you have not already received one, please see one of our greeters. We have a gift for you. It's a copy of the Science of Mind magazine. Reverend Theresa mentioned it earlier. It is full of wonderful daily readings for inspiration, also wonderful articles, and more information just about this teaching and how to learn more about that. So please pick one up on the way out. And please stop by and introduce yourself to Reverend Theresa. She always likes to meet anybody that's new and to our community. There's a sign on the sidewalk. That's how this, see? If we're looking for signs, we find them. If we're looking for signs, we find them. We have a little bit of move in store for our community during the months of July and August. And there is a picture, for those of us here at the Garden Center, there is a picture of what that looks like, the front door and so forth, but it's directly north of where we are now at the Garden Center. So if you came out of the Garden Center, went to the street, made a right, and walked about, or I don't know, 40, 50 paces, you will come to 803 North Tamiami Trail, and that is the Bayfront Community Center. And here's a picture of it. I don't know if the screen, if you can catch it on the screen or not, but there's also a photo again here at the Garden Center if you want to get a gander. You will go in on the north end of the building. And if you're directionally challenged like me, that's the Bradenton end. If you are going towards Bradenton, that's how I orient myself. Or am I going to the Bay? You know, so anyway. It's there. There's a ramp there for entrance. We will go in on the north end of the building, and there's also a parking area there, so it's very convenient. We will be there for the months of July and August because there's renovations happening here. So be prepared for that, get ready for that, and be on the lookout for new signage and so forth to get you to the right place. And you might even want to drive by that on the way out today just to familiarize yourself. More information about what goes on here at the center is available on our website and also through our newsletter. You can sign up for that at cslculturalcoast.org. Every Wednesday we have Spiritual Living Circle, which is hosted by Jim Grove, who's a licensed spiritual practitioner during the month of August. Jim's taking a much-deserved break. Nicole Leeds, who is also a licensed spiritual practitioner, will be leading it that month. But anyway, we get together from 7 to 8 on Wednesday evenings via Zoom, and we have a wonderful discussion about what it is to be a center for spiritual living as a light in the world. How do we live it? How do we deal with everyday challenges? And what does that look like? We discuss an article from the Science of Mind magazine. It's a wonderful time in community. I hope that you'll join us. We meet online via Zoom, and there's a link that will be sent to you if you go on our website or our our newsletter and sign up for that. And let's see what else. Oh, Practitioner of the Day. I will be your Practitioner of the Day. If you would like to be supported in prayer for a challenge, an opportunity, or perhaps something new coming up in your life that you want to just have a fantastic experience around, anything where prayer support, spiritual mind treatment would make support you in that, I'm happy to do that for you. We call it the 5-minute miracle. I'll meet you over here next to the screen, and we'll have private time together. You can also leave a prayer request in the basket there, and you will be held in affirmative prayer for the coming week. You can also, for those of you joining us online, you can do that also through our website. Please stay for coffee and conversation. We'd love to get to know you. We also have cold water if you're not having coffee in the heat. We'll have something cold for you to drink as well. Thank you so much for being here today. It was a delight to spend this time with you. And Joyful Noise is going to lead us out with a song. Thank you. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you. So quickly, about a month ago, I realized the title of this month was Holy Boldness, Batman. And I got bold enough to ask Rev T if I could do a song by an artist that probably isn't usually sung a lot in spiritual centers. So if you know Melissa Etheridge, you can respect this. But there's this beautiful song. She was bold enough to say yes. So the thing is, I would like for you to be bold enough to open your heart and listen, because it answers the question why I am here. I am here because you, each one of you sitting in these seats, are my heaven on earth. The first verse of this song is my life as a child and a young adult. The chorus is about you. The second verse is where I seem to be now, learning myself. But I want to share with you that I graduated from kindergarten this week on a lesson. Someone looked at me straight in the eye and said, Diana, when you learn to love yourself and the worth you have, other people will do the same thing. There's a line in this song that says, open up your eyes and let me show you what you're worth. And it's really important. But it's more important to look in the mirror and tell yourself what you're worth. And when I told my teacher that in kindergarten this week, she graduated me to first grade. So listen to this song. 1, 2, 3, 4. In silence, a silence that became my history. They fed me fear and violence, hooked me up to this reality. I'm not cursing anyone, they only did what they had done to them. But if you want to know where I am now, just breathe in and let it out. You are at the end of your road. Come find me, holding on to your last string of hope. Come find me, open up your eyes, I'll show you what you're worth. Don't you know it's you and me? My burdens, the one where I had something I should prove. Then I found my power, the one where I'm a mountain I can move. And if you want to know where I am now, just breathe in, let it out. You are at the end of your road. Come find me, holding on to your last string of hope. Come find me, open up your eyes, let me show you what you're worth. Don't you know it's you and me? Heaven on earth. Don't you know that you are holy? Don't you know that you are pure divine? It doesn't matter what they painted on you, you can wash it all. On to your last string of hope. Come find me, open up your eyes, let me show you what you're worth. Don't you know it's you and me, this heaven on earth. Open up your eyes, let me show you what you're worth.